practicing now for a little over a week. This one started March 1st, and pretty much just playing as much as we can. Some of the girls get out and hit balls on their own, but we're just trying to play. We're going to take off Saturday, go to Phoenix, play a tournament down in Mesa, kind of outside of our region, play more central region teams as kind of a warm-up to, it's hard to, duplicate tournament atmosphere. So it'll be a good tournament just to kind of get the rest off. And then spend the week in Phoenix practicing some more, and head to California on that Saturday to play out at Cal State Monterey Bay. So that'll be a nice trip. Well, it is that way. I mean, every tournament, you can't really afford to have a bad tournament because everything's based on head-to-head competition. So you try to schedule the toughest schedule you can. If you play a field of 18 teams, it's like having 18 head-to-head games. So you got to beat everybody. You can't really afford a bad round. So the West region is the test. I think right now, after the fall season, we're just kind of on the bubble as far as looking at regional play. Probably the top 12 go. I think we're 14th or 15th, right in there. So we need to get. There's 2 tournaments this spring that will be good regional fields, West region. The one in California, and then another one in Arizona. If we play well in those, we might be able to move into that top 12. So that's kind of what we're focused on. And then the season ends with the RMAC championship. So that's something that that's another goal that we have is to win the RMAC. Well, I think the 5 that are traveling to the first tournaments are the 5 that played most of the tournaments in the fall. And you give them time out on the range, and they're going to be hitting the ball pretty well.
Yeah.
And I think the challenge is to get them playing as often as they can to start to minimize the mental mistakes. Because anybody that goes out after a winter knows they kind of can surprise themselves, be hitting the ball almost like they were by the end of the year, but the mind isn't quite caught up with what's going on out there as far as putting shots together and just minimizing those mental mistakes. So that's why we're just trying to play and kind of play our way into that good frame of mind so that they're not throwing away shots out there. And I think this time of year, you almost have a built-in excuse. It's early, the weather's not good, I make a couple bogeys here, it's not that big a deal, but we have to make sure that we're fighting for every par and birdie out there and not making bogeys and worse. So they've been doing a pretty good job. I see the scores get a little bit better and they're a little more focused, and as it gets closer to time to hit the road, I think their focus will be even greater. So they're doing a good job.
Yeah, it's like he said, you can go out to go to the range and you can be hitting the ball well, but there's nothing quite like a tournament. And just playing, it's a different mindset, and you just want to minimize your mistakes so we can not make big numbers and focus on pars and birdies.
And just trying to stay in tournament mode and playing again with each other is helping us get back into that mode of competing, because next week we'll have to be doing that, and so we have to stay as focused as we can, especially this past couple of weeks playing as much as we have been. So it's we're going to do our best.
Yeah, you do, and that's even anytime you play these tournaments, that practice round is important to figure out how you're going to attack the course, how it's playing, firm and fast, or if it's holding shots. Actually, I think around here with the snow and all, the conditions are
A little bit better.
You've been better than in the past. I mean, usually you start out and you still got everything dry and rolling and wet in places and frozen in places or whatever. But It's been pretty good. All shots are holding, so I don't think there's as big adjustment this year as probably what we've had in the past. But yeah, going down to Arizona's gonna be different, and then going out to California's gonna be different. I think you got what you're dealing with. A lot of times, the hardest part is club selection, because you're going from our elevation here. Arizona's maybe a half club difference down there, and then do got to California, it's a full club. So club selection, and that goes back to that whole thought, getting the mind right to where you're thinking about shots instead of just getting them hit, and you're actually thinking through the shot, pulling the right club, and executing. So that kind of goes back to the beginning of making sure your mind's working with the swing and thinking your way, playing golf instead of just hitting golf.